Someone asked me a question and she was like, what if I want my chinchin to be soft and crunchy? Then I said, wow, that is a new one. I'm always used to hard and crunchy chinchin. Not really hard, but tasty and crunchy chinchin. So I had to come up with a recipe that would give me a soft and crunchy chinchin at the same time. Now, the good thing about this recipe is that we're using 1 kg of flour and we're going to be baking it and frying it. So this chinchin recipe, you can either bake it or fry it, whichever way to come out fine. I just separated my egg yolk. I'm using 3 eggs, but 3 egg yolk this time. I separated the egg yolk from the egg white. We are using between 500 to 600 mils of milk, depending on the kind of flour you are using. I just added 250 mils of milk to my egg yolk mixture because I want to add other ingredients to it. Now I'm going to be using flavors. I love using milk flavors for my chinchin recipe, but because I'm no longer in Nigeria and I'm in the UK, I am using what I can find. I just added half teaspoon of cinnamon and half teaspoon of nutmeg, then and half tablespoon of butterscotch flavor to my milk. Then I'm going to add in half cup of icing sugar. Half cup. If you do not want to use icing sugar, you can use your normal sugar, but half a cup is the minimum you should go for 1 kg of flour, except you are somebody that really does like sugar or your clients like sugar, you can increase the quantity. But for me, half cup is enough. I wouldn't want to go more than that. So now this is my 1 kg of flour. It has been weighed. This is an accurate 1 kg of flour. I'm going to go on now to add in other ingredients. If this is your first time of stopping by my channel, you're so welcome. If you've been here before, good to have you here once again. If you haven't subscribed, to subscribe to Debbie's Kitchen. Do like and share, thumbs up this video and tell me what you think about this recipe. I am using 50 grams of butter, but I will give you a range. You can use between 50 to 100 grams of butter for this recipe. There are different kinds of flour, so depending on the kind of flour you're using, you may need to use more butter or less butter. But for this flour, 50 grams of butter for me, it's fine. I'm just going to make a hole at the middle, then add in my milk, my flavor, my icing, sugar, and egg mix into my dough. Then I'm going to go on now to add in my baking powder. Look at me. I almost forgot my baking powder, but never mind. I added just half teaspoon is enough. UK baking powder is very effective. You add too much, your dough, you will be in big trouble. So, but if you're in Nigeria, please make use of 2 to 3 teaspoons of baking powder at least. You do not need too much baking powder for your chinchin recipe. 2 to 3 teaspoons is enough for those of you in Nigeria. Those of you in the UK, my dear, 1 teaspoon or half tablespoon is enough, not more than that. If not, you won't like the kind of chinchin you will come out with. In fact, even half teaspoon will go well. The baking powder in the UK is quite different from the ones in Nigeria. They are very effective. Now I will knead my dough divide them into various portions. Then I'm going to cut it and get ready to fry. If you have watched to this point and you haven't subscribed to Debbie's Kitchen, hey, I really don't know what to tell you because you are missing. Hey, because we don't have 50,000 subscribers. Relax. See, join the train now before the subscriber will not be too many. Nobody will notice you. Join now so that we'll be doing giveaway. We will know those that followed us from the beginning. Don't be looking for big ones. Those that were big today, they started like us. And we are growing pretty fast. Debbie's Kitchen is growing fast as God is helping us. So this is the first method. I just did cut my chinchin recipe. I do not like this first method because your chinchin can get stuck together. They will just stick together and you won't like them. I prefer this second method because I feel that if I want to really control the size of my chinchin and cut something that is fairly perfect, especially if you are making it for a client or for business, I think you should go for this method because my dear, you want your chinchin to look professional and the size to look fairly the same, especially if you do not have a chinchin cutter to cut your chinchin when you're making chinchin in large bulk. This is large. This is large. You can use this chinchin recipe for an order, except you want to. I'm making this one for my family, but for an order 1 kg of flour, you could use it for an order. It is much. The ingredients are not so expensive. They are just okay. They're a bit on the middle. If you want something that is really expensive, I'm going to put a link of a video in the description box. In fact, check my chinchin recipes and series. There are measurements for different quantity of chinchin. What I do for this method is that I just pick the strip one after the other. I do not cut them together and I just cut them separately. This will help my chinchin to be fully separated. I like this method and give my chinchin a fairly constant size, so I prefer this one. Though when you use your chinchin recipe with milk, they hardly do stick together than when you mix them with water. If you want to find out tricks and tips to get the perfect chinchin, I'm going to put the link also, or the card or the end screen. Check them out. You will love it. So my chinchin now, they are ready and ready to fry. But I left 2 portions of the dough because these ones are going to go into the oven. I told you this chinchin recipe is for both baked and fried chinchin recipe. So you may need to, if you do not like fried chinchin, you said, no, I do not eat fries, I want something that I can bake, then you just need to cut your chinchin, use the same ingredients, the same quantity. You don't need to change anything and just pop it into the oven and bake. I decided to cut the baked one differently because I really want it to look different from the fried one. You can really differentiate that, oh, this is baked and this is fried. And I loved it at the end of the day. This isn't going to take time. Yes, that is it. This chinchin recipe is unique. Have you watched to this point and you haven't thumbs up this video? Do thumbs up this video, do like and share. Do comments, do tell me what you think about this chinchin recipe. And tell me if you're going to try this chinchin recipe, or check Debbie's kitchen, as in there are lots of chinchin recipe, different mixture, different ingredients, and you will love them at the end of the day. So I'm going to pop that in an oven. I'm baking 180 degrees Celsius for no more than 20 minutes. Make sure you check carefully. If not, it will get burnt. It doesn't take time. This is my vegetable oil heated for like 5 minutes. I'm going to now check if the oil is hot by adding just a piece of the chinchin. And when it's bubbling like this, my dear, add the rest. But make sure when adding, be careful not to add too much, because you do not want your chinchin to absorb so much oil because you added too much and to get stuck to each other. So just add carefully. When you find out that it is enough and your oil is fairly full, not so full, then you need to pause and stir and fry until you can have a golden brown look. So now I think I have enough chinchin in my oil and I wouldn't want to add any more because I want the chinchin to have space to fry and I do not want the oil to be too tight for the chinchin. I want all of them to have space to float, you understand, and to give it an even brown look. And it also makes it easy for me to stir. This frying and stirring for like 5 minutes and my chinchin recipe is ready. Once I have this golden brown look, my dear, we're taking it out of the oil and we'll set it in the salvet to strain excess oil. Wow, this chinchin recipe was amazing. Imagine combining 3 flavors. My dear, you need to try it. Look at it. This is it. Our chinchin is ready, and the one we popped into the oven is also ready after 20 minutes. I love this one in the oven because it feels like chips to me. It feels like biscuits. You know these biscuits? Biscuit you buy. It feels like biscuits. So if you do not like fries, my dear, you can also bake your chinchin and you will love it. You can also adjust your ingredients to your taste. You may not use the standard ingredients I use. Whatever flavor you want to use, you can use vanilla flavor instead of butterscotch flavor. Just do your thing. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. To like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time. Good to have you here. Bye-bye.